very interested in a comment you made in a recent interview where you were suggesting that you believe that Israel will go back to war again very shortly with Iran. And I was just wondering why, what's in your mind in saying that, and what is the Israeli objective?
Well, you just hit the nail on the proverbial head. What is Israel's objective? And Israel cannot be the dominant power in the region as long as Iran remains intact and a viable force. Iran has emerged from this 12-day conflict much stronger for the experience. The assumption was at the time that the Israelis could balkanize Iran the way they have Syria. Remember, we supported the Israelis along with the British, especially British MI6, in its effort to destroy the Assad regime and create chaos in Syria. Well, we've got it. Part of Syria is under Kurdish control. Part of it is under Sunni Islamist control. Part of it on the coast is still controlled by the Russians and neighboring Alawites. And then the southern portion is under Israeli and Druze control. So that in many ways is the kind of picture that Israel would like to build all over the region. Israel feels safe when all the nations around it are weak and divided and incapable of governing themselves, frankly. They see that as a benefit strategically to Israel. Now, I'm saying Israel, I mean Mr. Netanyahu, obviously, and the Likudniks, the party that support him. He wants to do that to Iran. That has failed. And so the question is, can he realize all of his goals in the region, which involves territorial acquisition in Syria, potentially Jordan, southern Lebanon, as well as parts of Egypt? Can he do that and still survive with Iran standing in the way? Iran is kind of a colossus. Remember, Iran is the size of Western Europe. It has a very large population. They've turned out to be far more sophisticated and capable than the Israelis or we, in my judgment, ever gave them credit for being. So I think he has to, it's a kind of do or die moment, because right now he has complete control of the United States Congress and the White House. Everything that he does is really dependent upon our unconditional support. So as long as he's got that, I think he feels he's got to use it. So I think September, certainly October, latest would probably be December or November. But I rather thought by the end of September, beginning of October, we'd see some action. Now, how could that occur? Well, I would imagine a false flag is eminently possible, where something occurs that MI6 and Israel cooperate to facilitate, and then it's blamed on Iran. No doubt that is the CIA, would have a hand in that as well. I just have the feeling something like that will occur. They already know that there has been tremendous progress in Iran with regard to air and missile defense. The Russians that initially offered to help the Iranians really didn't take up that offer, felt strongly they could do it on their own. Well, after the experience of the 12-day conflict, they turned back to Russia, and the Russians have provided an enormous amount of support with regard to integrated air defenses. I think the Russians have also made it clear that if the Israelis try to destroy Iran, in other words, to do to it what was done in Syria, that they will not stand by and allow that to happen. And for that matter, the Chinese have also made similar noises. So it's a very, very dangerous set of circumstances. The United States could stop all of it. President Trump could stop these things overnight. All he would have to do is say, I'm not sending any more support or assistance to the Israelis until they come to terms with a solution in Gaza and agreed to no further fighting with Iran or anyone else in the region. But I don't see much evidence that such a thing could happen. I think President Trump is 100% in their grip. So this is the time to act if you're Netanyahu. Waiting doesn't make any sense.
سرچ مدیا